Hi, I'm Terry Duncan and I'm here with my nephew Jens, and we're making cards together. Today we're making a card for the 4th of July. We're so glad you're here with us and we hope you have fun. So, do you remember what we're going to do today?
4th of July card?
That's right. So you want to see what it's going to look like? Okay, I'm going to switch.
Sure. Ooh.
What do you think? You want to make that?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go through the things we're going to need to make it. The first thing we're going to start with is your ink. So you need a blue ink and a red one and a black one.
Okay.
So the next thing we need is your stamping block or your rocker block.
What size?
So I'll show you a comparison with my ink pad.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we're going to use this stamp that you picked out for this card.
Okay.
And while you're looking for stamps, you'll also need the Bear stamp set.
Yep.
Okay, and you'll need your paper trimmer.
Okay, I got my paper trimmer.
Good. You're going to need your glitter cardstock.
Okay.
And while you're at it, you're going to need a couple sheets of white cardstock too.
Okay.
Okay, get your paper trimmer ready. I'm going to back my camera up a little bit.
Okay.
So we're going to take a full sheet, we're going to turn it on its side, and we're going to cut it at the halfway mark. So this is a 8.5 by 11 sheet. So your first cut is going to be at 5.5 inches.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, and then we're going to take one of those halves and we're going to turn it on its side and cut it in half. So it'll be at 4 1/4.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we're done with our trimmer for a bit.
Okay.
Now let's just take our big half and fold it in half. That's making our card base.
Okay.
So we have one card base and you just set that aside for now. We won't need that for a little bit.
Okay.
Now we're going to want to take our stamp out, the flower stamp that looks like fireworks. And that's what we're going to make is our fireworks with it.
All right. So
It's this one, gents.
okay. Ooh, it's hard to get them off.
You're going to put that stamp on your stamping block when you're ready.
Oof.
And that's a new stamp, isn't it?
Yep.
So what do you have to do?
Have to rub it.
That's right. Now what we're going to do is take our red ink and we're going to ink up our stamp.
Okay.
Just tap, tap, tap. You can twist your pad a little bit to get good coverage on your stamp like this. Once you think you've got enough ink on your stamp, then stamp it onto one of your 4 1/4 by 5.5 pieces of paper. Let it transfer a bit. rub it on, and then lift straight up.
Ah, mine didn't work.
Mine didn't either, so let's do it again. I'm pressing to make sure that I got a good impression. That's a big stamp, so it's kind of hard.
Mine doesn't look like it's working again. Mine isn't getting a little part. Mine looks like this.
Oh,
Here's the other side.
I don't think you're getting ink on your whole stamp.
I am. What?
Let me see your stamp before you press it down on your paper. Is there a place on your table that is like dented?
Oh, maybe that's it. My table's all banged up and dented and stuff.
Can you put a couple layers of paper underneath?
This is better.
That'll work. Can you fill in that one little place with marker, do you think?
Here, 1 second. Here. I think I know how to fix it. I got a big book.
Oh, that's a good
It's a hard
idea. Yep, that'll work.
There.
Yay.
Finally.
That was it. So you'll have to remember, oh, that looks good. That really looks like fireworks, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Can
It's pretty good.
do you have one more piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2? Or do you need to cut another piece?
No, but I do have this part.
You should be able to use that. So you need a
Yeah.
scrap piece of paper to cover up your work surface. And then you need your blue ink. And we're going to make some colored cardstock. So this is the part that we're doing now. Is
I got a scrap piece of paper. Okay, here, let me.
So I just have this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just swiping it. And you want it to be pretty dark so that the 4 will show up over the other things.
Is this good?
Yes, that's very good. Okay, now we need your trimmer. There are a couple things we need to do before we use the trimmer. And that is, we've got 2 sentiments to stamp out. So the happy, and the happy comes from your bear stamp. Okay, it's part of happy birthday.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put ink on the whole thing, just put it over the happy.
Okay.
And this is what I used the black ink for. So you just ink up over the happy. Don't worry if you get some of it on the B. And then stamp it on somewhere on a white piece of paper.
Whoa. I don't know about yours. Mine turned out good.
Good. Very nice. Okay, the next thing we're going to need after you clean off your stamp is a sentiment off of this stamp set. So if you can look and find the, it's down in this bottom where it says, a friend is what the heart needs all the time. Right at the bottom. Did you see it?
Yeah.
We're going to do the same thing. We're not going to use the whole sentiment. We're just going to use a little bit of it. And I used blue ink for this so that you can, it ties with the fourth. So I use blue ink and I just put the ink pad over the. You don't have to ink up the whole thing. The is right in the middle there. So back there's two thes. So you could ink them both and pick whichever one you like the best. Okay, so let's put our stamps away because that's all the stamping we're going to do.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to need to get your die out. We're going to use the same die twice, once to cut out the red firework and once to cut out the gold one. We're going to center the die right over where we stamped with the red ink. Oh, I forgot to tell you about your temporary tape. You're going to need a little bit of that.
There.
Yay.
Found it.
Okay, so did you just use that to tape your die on?
Mine isn't exactly lining up.
This is what mine looks like. Does yours look like that? You want me to make it a little bit bigger?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. So the easiest way, gents, if you can find these two little spikes down here on the bottom.
I
Okay.
found them. That was what I was looking for.
Good. That looks like a good fireworks. Okay, the next cut we're going to make is with our glitter paper. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, just remove the gold. Okay. And now you're going to use the same die. And you're just going to put it anywhere on that paper. And run it through your cutting machine.
Oh, let's see how that went.
Did it cut through?
It did cut through.
Good. Beautiful.
Hey, could I see your card for a second?
Sure.
The finished card. Okay. So, I think I have a little suggestion.
Okay. What is it?
So, you know how fireworks usually have they're usually shooting out?
Uh-huh.
Well, I was thinking if we could use the, maybe if we could use this one, the
Uh-huh.
one with all the lines in it, maybe that'd make it more sort of like it was a firework, more sort of like shooting out for the
Okay.
red one.
Let's try it.
So maybe we could do maybe maybe yellow or orange, and put it on here. Maybe then it'd make look a little more like a firework
Well,
and less like a quirky blob. Here, why don't we use blue?
ink your stamp up and then carefully lower it over your stamp, the red part.
I think we have business.
That looks
A
pretty
little more
good.
like looks a little more like a firework.
Let's see what mine looks like. There's mine. Are you ready to keep going? So next step is we're going to trim out our colored cardstock. Okay. Then we need our colored cardstock and our trimmer. So I made my stripes 3/8 of an inch. So I want to show you what 3/8 is. Do you know what 3/8 of an inch is?
No, not really.
Okay, I'm going to show you on here. So I'm just going to start with the 1 to show you. Okay. So that's 1 inch from the cutting line. Each of these lines are 1/4 inch. In between those lines is an 1/8. So if I went from here to here, that would be 1/8 of an inch from that 1. Okay. So now keep watching.
1/8.
Keep watching here, gents. So to cut the card 3/8 of an inch, I'm going to go over here so you can see this edge. We're going to move, see, we're starting with the card edge right there by that line. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. And what that does is it pushes the edge of my card. Whoop, here. It pushes the edge of my card over 3/8 of an inch from the cutting edge. And I can cut the whole strip 3/8 of an inch. We need to do that 3 times. So we need 3 strips. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Good. Now there's one more way we need to cut those strips. We're going to take one of them and make it 3 1/4. And remember, this is the one where you have to kind of guess because the edge of the cutter is there. Doesn't matter because this dimension doesn't have to be very accurate. Okay, now we're going to take another one of these pieces and we are going to cut it 2 inches long. Okay, so what those 2 do is make up the 2 parts of the 4, like this. So now we're just going to kind of eyeball. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So I think just a little bit below halfway looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue runner.
Okay, got my glue runner.
Good. Okay, so you're going to put a little bit of glue runner just on the back of just one end. And you're just going to fasten that on to the other piece, like that.
Okay.
Okay, now you're going to take your third piece.
Okay.
And you're going to line it up with this piece that you just stuck on. So what I like to do is put this end on first and then line it up with the top corner. And then once you have that, you can hold on to it carefully and trim off the top.
Okay.
Okay, now put a little bit of glue on each end. And then fasten it on. And you might have to do a little bit of trim work with your scissors. And you end up with a 4. Oh, that's a good 4. Okay. Now, do you still have your scissors?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is called fancy cutting. And I found it's easiest to cut a lot of the excess off first. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna,
that's what I usually do for precise cutting.
so I'm just starting with the H. And now one of the things about fancy cutting is that you always want to move the paper, not your scissors. Okay. So you're just going to start cutting and move the paper as you're cutting. And just cut around that happy. By doing that, it just makes a nice, easy flow in your design as you're fancy cutting out. The next thing we're going to do is cut out one of the thes. Remember, we're only using the T and the H. Okay, all that's left is to stick everything together. We need our card base, right?
Yep.
Okay, and this isn't real accurate. You just put things where you want them to go. So what I did, I'll just show you my example again. I put the gold down first. And I just kind of put it a little bit off center. That's to make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye, and I wanted it to be the background of the 4. And again, I'm just using my glue runner. And so when you put these on, you want to twist them kind of in opposite directions so they don't look exactly the same. So for this one, I twisted it a little bit to the right. And now we're going to do the same thing with our red firework. And what we're going to do is twist it to the left and put it down a little bit lower. So down in the bottom corner, but overlapping the gold one. And then fasten it down. Now we're going to need our 4. And we're going to put our adhesive on the back of it. And this, you just want to make sure that you have it good and straight so that it's parallel with the edge of the card, even with the edge of the card. And then stick it down. And now what I like to do with sentiments is I just like to kind of play around with them on my card, making sure that the location is a good one, that is pleasing to the eye. And once I have where I want them to go, then I just glue them on with our adhesive. This little tiny piece is where it helps to have this reverse tweezers, because I can just use it and get it right where I want it to, and then stick it down. We're about out of time. Do you have a little time to decorate the inside, or do you want to do that later?
Yeah, I have a little time to decorate the inside.
I did not plan anything for the inside. So have you got some ideas
Well,
of what you want to do in there?
I was thinking we could take one of the stamps and maybe stamp a little edge, maybe here, there.
So here's a thought. One of the things, remember I told you a while ago that having a stamp go off the edge is pleasant to your eye. So we could do something like, we could use just a little piece like that, or we could use the same one that we used before and just stamp it like right there in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, good. And what color are you going to do it in? You're going to do it again in red?
I'm gonna do it in blue.
Okay, so are you going to use this one first,
Um,
or
so
are you
I'm
just going to do
thinking-
blue?
I'm going to do blue and then that one. I'm gonna see how it turns out.
You're going to do, oh, okay,
So I'm
Got
gonna do this one, then I'm gonna do the.
I got
red.
it. Okay. Well, I'll try that too. Are you going to stamp that one red too? Or are you using a different color?
I might use orange, but probably red.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use red, I think. Remember to do your stamping on your book.
Yep.
Very good. You like it?
Uh-huh.
Is that fun?
Uh-huh. Really
Good.
fun.
Good. Well, that finishes our card for today, doesn't it? What is that?
Okay.
face? What is that face? Are you getting ready to sneeze? Okay. Well, say goodbye before you do. Bye-bye, honey.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.